Hey everyone, very pumped. We are still at the incredible shift into permanent alignment event of Bentinho Massaros here in beautiful Costa Rica. We are now going to be talking to another one of the epic retreat attendees, Gilad Gorbonos.
Indeed.
Hi Gilad.
Hello, hello. Pleasure, big pleasure to share this time together.
Yes. I've had such a blast hanging out with Gilad. He came from Israel all the way here. It's a big commitment.
Quite a journey.
Yeah. And how many years have you been following Bentinho's work?
3 years.
3 years. Me too. Yeah. Me too. I'm really interested in many topics with Gilad. He understands the depths to the nature of reality in the simplicities of it. And so I'm pumped for this conversation. And it's also a really interesting topic that we'll refer to throughout. Free will is God. Very interesting. Gilad, tell us a bit about how you got interested in spirituality in the first place.
So, life just led me to seeking happiness, to seeking love, to seeking truth, basically, to seeking like the harmony within, which expresses as the harmony outside also. And I was going through this pretty painful breakup like 6 years ago, and I went to India a little bit after, and I just met this guy who...
And just speak up because of the camera microphone. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, yeah.
just met this guy who ended up being my teacher for a week, and he initiated me into yoga. He gave me like the sort of transmission, sort of like initiation into just direct seeing of what yoga is before I even did yoga, like did postures and all this stuff. So maybe I did a little bit of that, but he just told me yoga is the celebration of truth and love.
Perfect.
And that sort of like sent me officially to the journey of discovering within myself, verifying the natural state of experience, verifying the causeless state of being, of joy and love and freedom.
So you had a seeking impulse for happiness, and also you had the suffering catalyzed by your breakup. And then your travel to India, and which guru did you sit with?
It's not exactly a guru, a very simple guy.
I love it. Just a simple guy
yeah,
who
guy
just
with
showed
a
me.
mustache.
Yeah.
And with a big smile. And
Yeah. No ashram.
no, so just a room, just a small room, tiny room, me and him, and another maybe girl was there.
Yeah.
And he was just sharing. He was sharing the knowledge, but then the knowledge wasn't only in the words, the knowledge was alive. And
Yeah.
when true knowledge is transferred, it's awakening within the being. It's unfolding, flowering from within.
Yeah.
And the confirmation for the truth or the relevance or the effect of this knowledge within is the bliss, is the feeling of happiness, is the feeling of lightness, is the feeling of just electricity.
Yeah.
It runs through the system, and it's like the plug got in, and now it's closed the circuit.
Yeah,
so
that's a good point, is that the way that you know about awakening is bliss. It's a good measurement, is the natural state being a blissful state of just life itself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. And what was do you remember a specific pointing that was shared with you that was a very aha moment? from back then?
I remember it was mostly around love, around starting to discover, to see what true love is about, what's the essence of this love, of what everyone seeks, basically, in externalities, in phenomena, in experiences. And I remember he said that love is sacrifice. Sacrifice. It was quite a mystery for me back then. It resonated some, but today I see it much more deeply. How love is sacrifice, and
Does that play into the service to others idea?
not only, it's first and foremost, it's the sacrifice of one's own ideas about oneself, about life, one's own perspectives and attachments, and perceived benefit in things. So this sacrifice has a purifying effect.
Yeah.
And the result of this purifying effect, and also the process itself, is love, and also the origination point. So love is like the all embracing principle.
So interesting. So yoga or union with God or the absolute can be thought of as leveraging love as an alchemical tool, which then we feel bliss and peace on the other end.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes, exactly. It's there on all parts of the journey, in the beginning, in the middle, in the process, and in the end. It's the same, like origination point and end point.
Yeah. Yep. Wow.
You see? So
Totally.
So yeah, that also bridges the gap that is generated in the mind between here and there, and
Yeah.
I'm here and I'm not there, and
So you started tasting non-duality.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, and started testing myself.
Yeah, tasting myself. Beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Beautiful. The capital S.
and also the possibility, because until we know that something is possible, it's not on our radar. It's not interesting. It's not. Maybe it's like on the horizon, or like you heard about it somewhere, but until you really know, you verify to yourself, you experience, you have the proof that it's possible and it's probable and it's likely even, and it's real. It's real once you taste it. You see the reality of it. You see the invitation that lies, is present in this possibility. So then it's like the incentive to keep deepening, keep seeking, keep opening new doors to yourself. And it's not like you open them just by this belief that it's possible, plus the desire that starts to awaken, the will to go further by itself opens up the doors that life provides, with the doors, with the keys, with the teachers, with the events.
All catalysts. Yeah.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yes, in different shapes and forms.
Yep. And to be able to have that subtlety to see all of those catalysts as catalysts is really important, because our receptivity, our sensitivity, our subtlety to that determines how quickly we recognize the true nature. So when did you go to India? How many years ago?
I've been there quite a lot in the last 5-6 years.
Cool.
Last time was last year.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And so then you continued sponging up different spiritual teachers, Bentinho being one of them. You continued picking up some of these different literatures from the mystic traditions, this type of stuff.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and also, as you said, teachers, the presence of, I would say, realized beings or beings that know, that have seen very deeply and embodied, very deeply integrated this truth, these teachings. So, in my experience, that's a very potent and accelerated way to sort of receive the teaching, which is beyond the words. So the teacher who knows can, or the being who knows, has the ability to radiate the knowledge, and the seeker, the student who is open, who is willing, who is ready to receive, can very instantly see for himself, not through the words, to the concepts and the filters, but see directly. So this is how it unfolds, and it's beautiful because that's the exchange that we experience here on the planet of teaching and learning and teaching, and so we are all, in a sense, teachers of each other and students of each other and of life.
Yes.
So yeah, in my opinion, that's a very, maybe the most effective way to receive this knowledge of yoga, of truth.
Directly from other realized beings.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or to a beings who has embodied it, integrated to a high extent.
Yes.
Rather than in books and stuff like that, which is also a good way.
Beautiful.
But it takes a very high degree of commitment and practice, like persistence, determination, to get it sort of like by yourself.
Yeah.
It's very possible, but it takes a lot of will and readiness, maturity.
Yeah.
And also exposure to the right teachings, the potent teachings.
That's right.
Discernment.
Yeah. Discernment, earnestness, which has to do with that seeking impulse, dedicating oneself full time to that. I like how you prioritize being in the presence of fully realized beings that have it very deeply radiating from their essence. So it's not just the words, but it's also the bliss and joy and peace.
Yes.
You can feel eternity emanating from them.
But that's the thing. Once you are there and you see it and you feel it, you are being it. So it's not from them.
Correct.
It's from you. That's the revelation. You are that.
Yeah.
And
you are that serving yourself. Yeah.
So the being, there is a lot of appreciation, gratitude for this being, and there is like a relationships or a connection or love, great love for this being.
Yeah.
But it's seen very clearly also. It can be seen very clearly that actually you and the teacher, the essence is one. I
love it.
There is one dominator, there is one force, there is one...
Which
presence.
we could say is truth.
That's one way to put it. There are more like also direct and practical ways. And the most practical is just presence. Or
there you go.
Energy. Also another way to put it, a bit less direct. Presence, energy. That's a combo that can be put like this.
I like the idea of it being like a radiating sun. As though the truth, when it really is anchored inside of the realized being, it radiates like the sun, the bliss, peace, the eternity, infinity, nothingness, everythingness, compassion, love, and getting it directly, it's going straight to the source. The book is and videos are good, but you're probably pointing to something really important right now, which is that it might be the best to go in for the in-person.
Yes, because the teacher is embodiment, is an extension, is like an agent of of the sun.
Yeah, yeah.
Is a representation of the sun within a form of a human being.
Perfect.
So the sun,
Perfect.
yes, the sun is ever radiating. The sun is ever there. The sun is effortless. The sun is.
Yeah.
Or you could say the sun is light,
Yeah, it's light. Yes.
or its essence or effect is light.
Yes.
So, in the same way, a human being can serve, can function like this principle of ever radiating sun, light,
Yes. Perfect.
emanating force of enabling, of illuminating,
Yeah.
of
Perfect. Perfect.
radiating. And
How much illumination do you catalyze versus endarkenment?
is that a question?
Just a way for people to potentially recognize endarkenment could be something like the ego and seeking peace and happiness in the world, trying to extract it from experiences and other people and substances and wealth and sex and all that type of stuff, versus enlightenment in many ways, the illuminating aspect of the sun shining through a being is very much like not only the service to other, but it's the essence of love itself. And so it's kind of interesting putting it into the perspective of the dual enlightenment versus endarkenment.
Yes, so as you say, it's dual, and as I see it, the sun is the enabler of what you call endarkenment or darkness or shadow.
Yes.
So
Yes.
these shadow aspects of ourselves, of the human being, the mind, enabled by the sun, existing only because of the sun. The sun is what's giving birth, what's giving existence to these shadows, to this darkness, you can say.
Yeah. Perfect. Perfect.
So the sun is like the background, and when the light is on,
There you go.
the shadows can be seen through. You have the context of the light. Already, it's not there's the darkness, but the darkness is like a spot, a point on the, let's say, the sky, or like a cloud appearing in the sky.
Yeah, the sun is the ever-present undercurrent. And then there's which makes also the endarkenment possible. The light is what makes the endarkenment possible in its little journey in this creation. We have much more to talk. We have so many other subjects that I still want to talk about. So let's actually jump. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So I want to lay out something here, and I want then for you to hit the tennis ball on it. So
The magic stick.
yeah, the magic stick. Okay. So we're both passionate about the law of one. And in many ways, it gives a very clear distillation on our metaphysics, on the nature of reality. And so we, as the creator, go through a process of play with this creation, which undergoes this ascension style process in getting to know itself better. And we are at a point in that process, and so we're eternally doing this, but we're just talking about this one that we're exploring right now, where we're at a point of very clearly a matrix that is captivating consciousness in the dynamics that are visibly absent that we've been talking about throughout this conversation. And then there's also the juxtaposition or the contrast of that, which are the dynamics that we've been talking about, which can be thought of as the next density of evolution, that service to other style mentality rather than the service to self style mentality. And free will plays a big role in that process, the role in that process.
Yeah, that's a key element. That's the I would say the ultimate bridge, or even the one and the only bridge in that process of awakening, individual awakening, and collective, global awakening. So that's the sweet spot. That's the essence. The will. The will. And many people have confusion or have a misunderstanding because of acquired and the knowledge, information about this concept. But actually, the will of free will is, as I see it, is very simple and practical, direct, and also intuitive and experiential reality. It's a concept, but it points to, and it enables a direct, penetrative experience of freedom and truth. And of more of ourselves, of harmony, of healing, of shifts within ourselves, in our state of being, in our mental makeup, in the manifestation of our lives, the outer events and circumstances. So will, choice is the dominating factor. To more pure levels of understanding, more pure way of being, of interacting, of knowing oneself in this life. So the will is inherent within ourselves. It's inherent within creation. It's the very substance which is, we can say, things are made of, things are enabled by, things are possible through, by this will, this desire of creation, of the creator, to manifest, to appear, to experience itself as everything, as the monkey, as the human being, as the cell phone. But within a human being, this will appears as a choice, something that can be conscious, that can be used, that can be cultivated, that can be activated, and can facilitate a greater awakening, greater accumulation of consciousness, density of consciousness, of light within oneself, and therefore of truth and liberation. So the will is the gateway to the natural state. The natural state. And can define natural state. Natural state is the state of life as it is. Of life as it is, of some call it the Tao, the effortless manifestation which is totally aligned with the central intelligence, with source.
Yeah. Yep.
With the original logos or love, which runs the show, the show of manifestation. So the will is the gateway back to that natural state. The natural state is already the case, but we, because of programming, because of conditioning, got apparently apart from this natural state. We've been taken to a distorted state of mind, state of being, which got a momentum and became a reality, became solid, became the life, the world, myself and others and society and all of that stuff. So this is a very powerful momentum. This is a river of ignorance, of samsara, of the matrix, which just runs, and it takes whoever is connected. It takes it with everyone knows. It's the conditioning. The I should do this, I should do that. All of the structures and ideas and social agreements. So in order to wake up, to disconnect from this greed, from this matrix, to awaken, one needs to start swimming against the current. And the swimming against the current is the awakening of will, of choosing otherwise. And it starts with a mental decision, but it gets much deeper. It gets to the deepest place within oneself, which is the consciousness, the deep awareness, the essence of oneself and of life. So the will is being cultivated, the choice, and is being revealed to be much deeper than the regular way we perceive will. As like, I want this, I don't want that, I go here, I go left, I go right, and the will which is filtered to the mind, to identity. And in a very intuitive level also,
this is an important clarification. There's a will that's filtered through the mind versus a will that's used with consciousness.
And is consciousness.
And is consciousness.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, the will that is consciousness is different than the will filtered through the identities of the mind, the layers of the mind. Because that will is more impure. It's also more limbic or primal or algorithmic.
The will of the mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
it's more like a machine.
like a machine.
Yeah, there's input and output.
And then
sort of.
And then so once you start getting Bentinho in the last days been using this analogy of these 10,000 little ice cubes of will that are shipped into little freezers across the planet, and then we go over time and acquire more of these little will ice cubes, and then as we sort of melt that down, we become more air-like and we become more water-like. We activate more of the consciousness will.
Yes,
And,
exactly.
okay, keep going.
Exactly. Breaking the automatic conditioning, the automatic mind, and bringing light to the unconscious, to that which operates as, which is collective and individual. It's being acquired. It's been acquired from the society, from the parents, from experiences throughout life. So that usually runs the show of one's life. The reactions, the motivations, the desires and the fears and all of that. So will is actually the willingness to see through that, to bring light
Yeah.
to oneself, to start inquiring into oneself. And
Okay, so self-inquiry creates more will.
yeah, it generates, it's like,
Spiritual mass is what Bentinho's been calling it.
yeah, it builds energy, it generates space for this work, for this process.
Cool.
To continue deepening. Yeah? So it's like creation cannot be stopped. Everything just goes on. Happens.
No pause button.
No pause, no way out. And this is the will. It's anyway the case. The will is anyway the case. We can only sync with it. We can only be more like it. Like this inherent intelligence in creation which operates everything. You can see in nature, you can see in the plants, in animals.
Okay, let me play with the analogy that Bentinho's also been using. So you have the little stake in the ground, and then you have the little rubber band attached to the stake. And then when you're very far away in the illusion, following the primal limbic algorithmic will with the mind, the rubber band's way out here, and you're getting these suffering sort of snaps. And then when the rubber band is right next to this stake in the ground, this is when you're flowing more with that Tao. You're flowing more with love.
Yes.
With light.
The central intelligence.
With the central intelligence.
So just to clarify with your example,
please.
Because like to give a little context, the stick represents the human being in that analogy, and the rubber band is the distance from the source of this intelligence. So the distance is basically the distance of the will. When the will is given away to the false, to the untrue, to the programmed, it generates imbalance, disharmony, distance from this truth, which is balance and harmony. And this intelligence through emotions, which in this analogy, the rubber band, the tension, in life, it's emotions. What we call emotions, this energy, this emotion, energy in motion, the contracting emotions, the pain is a signal, is an alarm system, is like
the guidance system.
A guidance system, a messenger. It's like it's benevolent. It comes for us to let us know. Some in a painful way sometimes, but with a very loving foundation and causality to wake us up to the fact that we got astray from this source, from this intelligence. So then
Cool.
we can choose otherwise. We can see it, understand it, and choose otherwise.
So that you don't get so far the rubber band from the source central intelligence and get the snap of suffering repeatedly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, and choose otherwise. So the choice, it begins again with the mind, but with the deepening, it's being revealed that this free will is actually another word for free awareness.
Free awareness.
Free awareness, free will in that case, in the deepest sense and essence of this concept, free will is free awareness.
Interesting. So
Equals free awareness.
equals free awareness. So non-algorithmic, non-primal, non-limbic, non-reactive, non-egotistical,
Non-contracted
non-contracted. Yeah.
sense of identity.
Beautiful. Okay.
The free will is where we locate, we are free to locate a sense of identity wherever we want. So we can locate it in the world, in objects, in a partner, in a bank account, in the mind, in the body, or we can locate it in a true nature, which is
Interesting.
formless, boundless, all-pervasive clarity, awareness, love, light, which is here now always, which is that which is enabling this experience, which is enabling us sitting here and speaking, and you sitting and listening and navigating in this world. It's that which is here now, in the root, in the center of every experience, of every perception. It's the very core of oneself. It's the deepest sense of oneself, the deepest sense of me, of meanness, of I-ness, of existence, of awareness. And the will.
Interesting. The deepest sense of the very I-ness is the free agency to identify when the emotional guidance system is creating catalysts for one to do the self-inquiry.
Yeah, that's one way to use it and to reflect to it. But
Cool.
yeah, and very, very important one, yeah, the emotional guidance system. But in general, that's the gateway to truth, to liberation, to true love, this pure presence, this pure I, this the innermost sense of I, of me. So we can step into it now, tune into it now. Like a little example to begin with, like if I tell you to raise your hand, yeah, you do it, right?
Why was it the left instead of the right? Yeah.
Doesn't matter, like your left hand. Tell you
Okay.
to raise it or to lift something with your hand.
Okay.
So
Pick up Gilad's
you,
phone.
okay, pick up the phone.
But why the phone?
How do you do it? How do you do it?
I do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How? No. How did you pick up the phone?
Using will.
Yeah. Or in simple words, you just wanted
Yeah.
to do it. Yeah. When you have to do something, you do it. How you do it, you don't know. You just do it because you want to do it, right? We don't think about it, but this is how it works. It's very it's unconscious. But how do we walk? Because we want to walk. We don't think about it, right? It's innate. It's inherent in us. In the same way, in the spiritual journey, in this way of knowing oneself deeply, the essence of oneself, is the same principle. The way to tap into this free awareness, this innermost sense of I amness, of me-ness, of the core of a being, which there lies peace and harmony and bliss and love and confidence. The way is to simply wanting it.
Wanting it.
Wanting it, yes.
Yeah.
It's like,
Desiring awakening or desiring one's true nature, to know thyself.
yes, but also here and now. How do you tap into this inner sense of me? You just tap into it.
Will for it.
Yes.
You will for the I amness.
Yes,
Okay.
you just here and now you know it. You can tap into it because you know it. It's you. It's in you. It was never a part of you. It is covered by thoughts and desires and motivations and other priorities, but this is the message. It's always here.
Yeah.
And always accessible.
Yeah.
Even if not instantly now, to pure will, your will to see it and to know it will lead you to information, to teachers, to experiences that will facilitate this deepening, this further uncovering of this innate free awareness, of free will, or original identity, original position of oneself.
Yeah.
And then everything becomes lighter, like it sucks out the oxygen, the energy of
Yes, yes.
the thousands and thousands of programs that runs around,
Yes,
around the head and
Wow.
from morning to evening, and then the center becomes more and more like the pool becomes more and more this central
Oof.
presence,
Yes.
central
Yes.
stability, and
Yes.
one can tap into it with training, with
Yes.
also faith,
Yes.
by the will, by just
Will.
coming into
Yeah.
it, just knowing it is here,
Yes.
and
Abiding. Yeah.
abiding and just sort of also surrendering
And
to-
surrendering.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
it's part of the journey too, like let this river, not the river of the samsara, the river of the Tao, the river of truth,
Yeah.
take you. It's like you can say it's parallel to the river of samsara, runs the river of the Tao, the river of the truth. So you choose to jump to get yourself out of this river and relocate in the river of joy. And sometimes you need to do it again and again and again because you pivot back and forth from here and there. So the river of the Tao, the river of truth, the river of bliss is anyway the case always. So that's also the role of the will to sink back with this river
Yes.
to come back, so to speak. Although we never really live it, but
So to speak, that's the primary functionality, is the absolute's GPS callback.
yes,
Yeah.
that's a gravitational pull.
The gravitational pull.
Bentinho refers to it. And that's good. That's good to connect and to install this magnet
Yeah.
in you. To
So,
be
I like
pulled
that.
by this.
That's beautiful. So it's almost like moving away from the scripts, especially of the Matrix, especially of these most limbic or primal programs. And like you said, creating a magnet in the I am, and then abiding and recalling to that, like doing the repetitions in the gym, lifting weights, or when you shoot the 3-pointers in basketball, or you play the instrument, you do the repetitions, and then it becomes a natural state.
Yes.
It becomes effortless then.
Yes.
And so you're just constantly then in the natural state.
Yeah, I would say with practice and integration, it's usually like you shift back and forth from like the more natural state and the more conditioned state. But yeah, the will is the I am,
Yeah.
essentially.
Cool.
And
which is God.
and is the pull. Yes, which is God also. So
Yeah.
the will is God. God is like this omnipresent, omniscient, like all pervasive, eternal, infinite force, power.
Perfect.
So the will, and don't take my word, I invite you to go and to experiment and to explore it. The will is also stands for this principle. The will, when seen as awareness, as free awareness, as this formless point of focus, which
Yeah.
is not really a point, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
It's everywhere and it's timeless.
Yeah.
But it can be seen also as a point of attention, although it's also the whole field, the whole view.
Yes.
Not only the point of view, it can be a point of view, but it can be the view itself, the vastness of infinite potential.
So the timeless and the formless will is what is the navigating force in the creative process
Yes, both the navigating force and the enabling force,
and enabling.
the origination point of
Yeah.
of all perception and of all times. And in a human being, that's the precious faculty, that's the precious gift and tool, so to speak, to establish in this truth, to be an example to others, to cultivate compassion
Yeah.
and wisdom and balance them and just have fun also in a harmonious way and extract lessons and value from experiences, not only chasing them and
Yes.
losing oneself within them.
So we'll this has been so beautiful. We'll wrap here. Let's just wrap by saying that we'll hear your tennis ball back on this. Endlessly, we undergo a process of play, of exploration, of creativity, where we place ourselves into this dream that serves us in getting to know ourselves better through an endless possibility of ways to play. And that we use will to enable that, to navigate it, and to be, as we become more vigilant, we can navigate it more harmoniously, more in love, more in light, more in the natural state.
Exactly. And more in acceptance, which is another key element, and that's perhaps a subject by itself, but that's also a gateway to acceptance.
That's a good point. Acceptance,
Yeah, seeing like I am choosing, I am enabling whatever I see, whatever I experience, and you and everyone. It's like taking responsibility, not as a burden, not as like, oh, I'm responsible for it, like with my conscious mind, but as the awareness, as this enabling factor. It's helping one acknowledge and see that you are always choosing what to experience.
Yeah.
Maybe not consciously, maybe it's not what you prefer with your conscious mind, with your personal mind, with your separate mind, but essentially, this free will, is free awareness, enables all experiences. Nothing could be experienced without it. So when it's seen directly and clearly, that generates an automatic acceptance of oneself and of experiences, of circumstances, events.
Perfect.
And then frees the energy and frees the attention to focus on growth, on learning, on expansion, on
Yes.
service,
Yes.
on,
Yes. Beautiful.
on opening up for more of oneself, for love. So yeah, acceptance here is another key element that this understanding, this more balance and true understanding of this free will helps us tap into. Acceptance of oneself, it's a crucial point.
Crucial.
Yeah, that's like
It's number 2.
number
Know
2,
yourself, accept yourself, become the creator. Yeah, acceptance is mission
that's a
critical.
dance.
It's the dance. I love it. Very last quick question. What is most beautiful?
What is most beautiful? To open the heart to the possibility of the absolute perfection of this reality, of this life, of this existence, and to our role in it.
Perfect.
Of every action, of every move, of everything we do, the significance and the beauty and the base of it, which is love.
Yeah.
So want to open the heart to it more and more and more, step by step.
Yes.
That's beautiful. That's amazing
Yes.
to see it within myself, within others. It's
So this dance, this transformation that cyclically plays.
yeah. So all you can say very in one word, what's beautiful is dance.
The dance.
The dance, man.
Yeah. And the transformative process, opening the heart itself to that infinite perfection.
Yeah.
I love that.
That
You're right.
chemical dance.
Like
The
these
Shiva
last-
dances and the universe
Yeah.
moves, and like
Yeah. Because you're right. The heart opening has been just. Mwah. Thank you for the show, the episode.
thank you, Atlas.
Gilad,
been a pleasure.
you're beautiful.
Hi.
You're so beautiful.
Brother.
You're so beautiful. I'm calling myself beautiful. This was so nice. I'm so grateful we got to meet and do this. We love you all very much. Thank you. Thanks for tuning in. We're so grateful. We would love to hear from you in the comments below. Let us know how you feel. Feel free to like the video if it brought you value. Subscribe if you haven't already. Share the video with people that you feel like it would bring value to. And that's all. We adore you infinitely. Thanks for tuning in. Leverage some of the things that Gilad was sharing with us.
Show goes on.
The show goes on. The dance.
The dance.
Dun, 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 dun.